Welcome everyone. It's going to be a different type of video today. Going to be taking this a lot more seriously. This might be the most important topic I've ever covered with regards to Pokemon Go. There's been some very sketchy behavior from Niantic regarding a Stardust Nerf disguised as a Stardust buff, which is completely unacceptable. Generally, I've been very lenient with Niantic in the past. Even the video I made regarding lag, I mostly made it as a suggestion to kind of help Niantic fix lag, as I know that it is a really big game and they are trying to figure out how to fix lag. But their actions regarding the Stardust Nerf is completely unacceptable in my opinion. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Zionic has a great video on this as well. But I did feel like it needed more coverage. I had a lot of people ask for me to cover this because our voices need to be heard on this. We can't just be walked over like this. But I'll put that in the video description. Go check out Zionic's video as well. But if you've been playing Season 8 at all, you may have not noticed that Stardust has been nerfed, and maybe that was a part of the plan. I didn't notice Stardust was being nerfed. I just thought that I was a low level at the beginning of the season, and by the time I hit Ace or Legend again, I would be getting the normal amount of Stardust. So anyways, here is a Reddit post by user FMC Gartz, and he's actually compiled how much Stardust you're getting per set based on your rank. So if you take a look at these numbers in this column, Season 7, that's how much you would have got. In Season 8, this is how much you would have got. And if you take a look at the numbers, they're exactly half. Season 8 is exactly half of Season 7. So essentially there's been a 50% Stardust nerf. Now, is a 50% Stardust nerf a problem? Yes, it is, but it's not that big of a problem, right? Like, companies make changes all the time to their game. They make balance changes. It makes sense. But what really is a problem is the way that this was announced. So let's take a look at Niantic's announcement. This is their Go Battle League Season 8 announcement. And I've highlighted conveniently all the instances of the word Stardust in this announcement. So let's take a look at how Niantic phrased this Stardust nerf. So let's see. Earn extra Stardust. Let's go down to earning twice the Stardust. Twice the Stardust. Oh, 3 times the Stardust. Ooh, Stardust bonus. 2 times Stardust. Okay, so lots of positives here. We're getting 2 times Stardust sometimes. We're getting 3 times Stardust sometimes. And even a Stardust bonus. This is all looking like good news. But there's also a 50% Stardust decrease that just is just not shown anywhere here. There's thousands of words, but no mention of a Stardust nerf. So you might be thinking, oh, well, you know what? Maybe the Stardust nerf, it's not a big deal. With all these bonuses that Niantic is giving us, this is actually going to be pretty good. It's going to even out or be even better, right? That's what I was thinking too. But let's take a look. Thank you, Reddit user FMC Gartz, once again. You've done the math for us, so we don't have to. So even including playing the 75 extra sets from Go Battle Night, you're making 300,000 less dust, or you're only making 82% of the dust that you made from last season. And this 75 more sets, that's like 18 extra hours of Pokemon Go gameplay that you have to play to earn only 82% of what you earned last season. But somehow it's phrased as a buff. This is extremely misleading. Niantic, you cannot do this. You cannot promise one thing and then have the exact opposite thing happen. You can't just cover this. Is putting lipstick on a pig. This is still a pig, right? This is not Stardust gains at all. This is Stardust nerf. So now let's read this again with the context that Stardust has been decreased by 50%. Great League is here with 50% Stardust. Ultra League only has 50% Stardust. Master League, we got regular Stardust for Master League. And then Great League and Ultra League are back with 50% Stardust, and we've got Master League with regular Stardust again until we lose that regular Stardust and go back to the 50% at the end of the season. This is just a straight Stardust nerf. There, in no point of this is there actually more Stardust than there was in the first place. At no point during the season, besides on 3 separate nights only for Go Battle Night, are you gaining more Stardust than you would have last season at all. Yet it's all phrased as positive. Just let that sink in for a little bit. Like, what if I told you that I was going to charge a certain amount for a coaching session and I dropped the price by half? But then I didn't tell you that the coaching session was only for half the amount of time. Would people be upset? Yes, that's fraud. That's literally fraud. You cannot promise one thing and then give some people the exact opposite thing. So not only is this a problem because it's misleading, but let's talk about why Stardust Nerf in general is a problem. So recently, we've had the update that has allowed players and Pokemon alike to level up to level 50 with the advent of XL candies. With XL candies, there's been a lot of Pokemon that are now really good in Great League, that are probably the best Pokemon in Ultra League as well, that require XL candies and a significant amount of extra dust to build. So players in Go Battle League were used to a certain amount of dust to keep up with the meta in the past before XL candies, and with the advent of XL candies, we have to spend more Stardust to keep up with the meta, yet we gain the same amount in Go Battle League. But now, with this nerf, not only do we have to spend a significant amount more, we are gaining a significant amount less. And with COVID still being around, for some people, Go Battle League is the only source of Stardust. And the amount of Stardust you're getting over this entire season is now only 1.4 million. That's not even enough to build a really good Ultra League remix team for this season. That's not even good enough to compete in one league this season. Which is just absolutely incredible. But the main thing I want to talk about as well is that Niantic, I don't know if you guys remember this, so I will go over the situation again, was probably nearly a year ago now, a player named Jesus found an exploit in Pokemon Go where he could charge his moves during his own charge moves, essentially having unlimited energy. And Niantic put out a tweet. Trainers were disabling Go Battle League. This was well received because they should have disabled Go Battle League. As we're investigating a serious exploit, if you click here, you can see their message, which they've now taken down very smartly. But luckily, Esports has saved their message here. This is right here is what they said. As a team, we believe there is a contract of trust in Go Battle League. You should always feel your knowledge and skill determine the outcome of your battles. Niantic said cheating directly attacks this trust contract, and we have zero tolerance for it. So the important thing here is the first sentence where they talk about this contract of trust, and they feel that skill and knowledge are the two things that should determine the outcome of your battle. Skill and knowledge are what separates a top tier player from a middle of the pack player here. What they don't mention is resources, so Stardust or XL candies. So let's forget players below level 39 altogether in the first place, because that's a whole other can of worms that violates this contract of trust right here. But let's ignore that for a second. They don't mention Stardust. They don't want Stardust to be the limiting factor. They themselves have said this. They don't want Stardust to be the limiting factor between players being able to compete in certain leagues. So how come Stardust gets nerfed right as they introduce probably the most expensive league of all time? This is a breach of their own contract of trust that they're talking about. They are trying to make Go Battle League about grinding outside of Go Battle League, not about knowledge and skill. They're trying to make it about ability to access resources, which is exactly what they're saying they're trying to avoid. So let's take about, I just mentioned Remix Cup. So I do enjoy the Remix Cups. I'm glad. Great League Remix Cup seems very good. It was good. It was decent last season. There were some questionable bans. They thought about it. Good job, Niantic. You have much better bans this season. You only used Ace and Up statistics. This is great. But let's take a look at Ultra League Remix, and this highlights the problem yet again. So Ultra League recently has become kind of a spawning ground for people who have XL Pokemon versus people who do not. XL Pokemon dominate Ultra League, and it's kind of become Great League Light, or the expensive Great League, for a reason. So if you take a look at these Ultra League bans, you would expect to see, based on power, you'd expect to see a lot of XL Pokemon banned, right? But because people already don't have the amount of dust to build these XL Pokemon, they can't already build them with the amount of dust we gained in Season 7. How are we supposed... This is before the dust is nerfed. Look at the top 20 Pokemon played. Let's look at the XL Pokemon. Nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, Umbreon. Okay, one XL Pokemon. Nothing, 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 nothing. Okay, Talonflame. So there's 2 out of 20. 2 out of 20. 10% of these Pokemon that are banned are XL Pokemon. Despite, perhaps if you were doing this by power, only 10% wouldn't be XL Pokemon. So now, with Remix Cup banning the only viable non-XL Pokemon options, we're going to be left with a cup that nobody can afford to spend dust on unless you already have these XL Pokemon built. So let's take a look at PvPoke. If you haven't been a PvPoke site, awesome site. Ranks, it's got a team builder, everything, but I'm looking at the rankings here for Ultra League Remix. Shows the relative strength of these Pokemon within the specific meta. So we're looking at Remix. This tag here shows that if a Pokemon needs XL candies or not, and XL means that you're going to need a significant amount of Stardust to spend. I'm talking 500,000 dust on it. So let's take a look down these rankings and see how many non-XL Pokemon can compete within the top 20. Okay, we got Regirock, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have some more XLs underneath. So we have 6 out of 20 Pokemon only in the top 20 possibilities for Ultra League Remix that do not require XLs. And many of them need to be an extremely high level as well. So how can Niantic expect us or put out all these new cups along with Element Cup, which nobody is going to have CP 500 Pokemon built for? How can they keep releasing these new leagues when they don't even give us enough dust from GBL itself to sustain even just the new leagues, much less dealing with all the Pokemon that got buffed or nerfed in the rest of the game? But the biggest issue here is the fact that we were completely betrayed. We were told one thing and fed another. It is just and the worst part about this, the reason this is so important is because it seems like Niantic is kind of questioning our intelligence. They're questioning, are we smart enough to realize that this is actually a nerf, even though it looks like a buff? There's no way these guys, they're too dumb. They're too dumb to realize that if we say twice the Stardust, it's actually half the Stardust instead. Or are they trying to test how much we can put up with before we just stop complaining and just ignore it, right? Either way, we cannot let this stand. If we just let this happen, then who knows what's next? Next season, is there going to be another 50% nerf disguised as a buff? Are we going to have XL candy drop rates nerfed? What's next? We don't know. That's the problem. And we cannot let Niantic forget about this, and we cannot let them get away with this. So that's enough being unconstructive. Let's be a little bit constructive about this. What I would like to see, because I know Niantic wants to make their game a competitive game. They've said this on many occasions. They would love to make Pokemon Go PvP a competitive, like they haven't said the word esport, but essentially have kind of hinted that they do want to make it a more competitive game. And one thing that competitive games always have are patch notes. And this is kind of Niantic's version of patch notes. But Niantic's version of patch notes doesn't actually give you a lot of detail. So let's take a look at some patch notes in the past. I'm just going to take a look at, this is a WoW patch note that announces a 90% gold decrease from a certain thing. So they announce it. Even though they know it's a nerf, they announce it. But Niantic hides it and disguises it as buff. They don't say, oh, gold has been increased elsewhere, and then just hide this. They announce everything. And let's take a look at, and maybe something I would really like to see Niantic do as well. This is Dota 2's patch notes, just a random patch. I would like to see something like Razor Leaf. Damage from 11 to, or 12 to 10, or 11 to 10, or something like that, right? Or Poison Jab. Damage from 6 to 7. Just simple stuff like that. Why do we have to look at this list of moves? This poison type fast attack now deals more damage? That could be anything. Why does this number have to be hidden until the actual release? Why not let players plan around this in advance? Same thing with when in season 1 and 2 and 3, they were changing their K factor every season. If you're going to make major changes to the system, why don't you have a line here saying what's new in season 8? K factor adjusted for from approximately 12 points per game to about 15 points per game kind of deal. So K factor is like the amount you go up or down from a win or loss. And they used to just change that willy-nilly. Luckily, we haven't had that in a while. But this is what I would like to see from Niantic. Please, just give us communication. I don't care if there are nerfs or buffs. I was a big Razor Leaf fan. Those of you who watch my videos, I'm probably the biggest Razor Leaf fan out there. Shadow Victory Bell was my go-to, and Niantic nerfed Razor Leaf. Was I mad at Niantic? No, I was not mad at Niantic. Companies have to make balance changes all the time to their games, and I understand that. Did I think it was a good idea to nerf Razor Leaf? No. Do I blame Niantic for that? No, I wasn't upset at them. because they listed it. They told us it was going to happen. That's the thing. They need to just communicate with us more. Niantic, if you're watching this, please just release patch notes. It's not that hard. There's so many words in here that don't need to be said. You can condense this into just point form. Do I need to know Poison Jab is a poison type attack? No, Poison Jab, damage from 6 to 7. Poison Sting, energy from 8 to 9. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, I wasn't too upset for the constructive part to be heard, but before I sign off, everyone, please, we cannot let Niantic keep deceiving us with this kind of stuff. If they are going to portray this as a positive Stardust increase, we cannot let them get away with cutting our Stardust gains in half, especially during the pandemic in some countries. But yes, please just don't forget about this.